Your soap is a rock.
It looks like a rock now. But the original intention of that soap was it's coal. And I was going to give it to one of our friends' little girl. And then I realized...
Christmas?
Yeah. And then I realized maybe that wasn't a good idea. So it's been sitting in the drawer forever. And now... Dan asked the other night if it was a rock or soap.
It's not coal colored. It's a light gray.
It was black. It was coated
anymore.
in black to start
you
with.
You wash your hands the first few times? Did they come out black?
Yeah, it's...
It's a good thing you didn't use that as body soap.
Oh, well, I did have it in the shower. And then I decided no.
Yeah, that's probably a good
soap is self-cleaning, so, I mean, it worked. I didn't stay covered in coal, like powder, but yeah, now it looks like a rock.
Now it looks like a rock. I mean, now I'm trying to picture what it would look like when it was dark. Because it is... I had two thoughts when I saw the soap.
Okay.
Thought number one is it's a rock. And then I'm like, no, it's sitting on the soap tray. It's probably soap. Will pick it up. Thought number two, it's kind of also shaped like a turd. So if it's like pitch black, then it's like your blueberry turds, which is which is not a great image for something that's supposed to be cleaning your hands.
Oh, thank you for letting me into your brain. Oh, God. Yeah. So I'll just say this. When next year comes around and those are offered again, I won't.
You're going to skip that one?
I'm going to skip that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip that one.
If they come in brown, no. Say no. You don't want those.
Oh, God. Okay. That's good.
We've already cut off far before at this point.
I don't think
this is
so.
The editing magic will
Are
take
you gonna
out
edit?
all of the... I don't know. Maybe. It depends on how much time I have.
We haven't talked about this.
Honestly, that's an important thing because it depends on how embarrassed I am with the stuff that I say. If I say a lot of stuff that I don't want to go up...
This is meant to be unfiltered.
All right, I'll see you.
No,
see you
all
next
right,
time.
sit down.
Goodbye.
Okay, no, sit down. It's okay. You're allowed. Okay, we get a few things we get to pick out, but this can't be perfectionist.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. It's not going to be like scripted or anything.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I know that. I know it's a conversation. Question.
Okay.
Can I say fuck?
Yes, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, cool. I expected that much from you. Like you are not the sort of person to bleep. To bleep a podcast.
I do not plan to bleep anything. Okay. However, that means that we'll probably have to have some settings that let people know that we curse.
Yes. Yeah, you can set it to explicit.
Like. Oh, yeah,
and then
okay.
it's done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already talked about turds. We might as well swear.
Yeah.
Not that they're the same thing.
they're basically the same thing. I mean, they're both hilarious to 6-year-olds.
Oh, my God. So welcome to the podcast, the pilot episode of our podcast that whose name is TBD, which is not to say that the name of the podcast is TBD. It's more to say that the name of the podcast is to be determined, meaning the name of the podcast has not yet been determined or decided.
I feel like you're trying to set up like a who's on first situation here.
I feel like you could run with that. That's not my forte, but you could either be punny with it, or you could run with the who's on first thing, which I'm surprised you actually know, except for the fact that you grew up in my family.
Well, yeah, you showed it to me. Yeah. It's a joke in our friend group now a little bit.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Do you all have names?
No. But every now and then it'll come up where gosh, I don't remember where it came up to start with, but I think it was in D&D. There was some character whose name ended up being I or something. And then we ran with it from there.
Oh, that's funny. So we're almost 5 minutes in and we haven't introduced ourselves yet.
Oh, well.
I mean, if you're here, you must know us,
right? We gotta
right?
build a mystery.
Oh, I like that.
No, Mom, this
Suspense.
is gonna go to the whole world.
The
Everyone's
whole world.
gonna see it. Yep.
Are we gonna
it's
translate
gonna
it
take
into
off.
other languages?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
our fans will do that for us because they want to get our message out to the world because they believe in us so much.
I know coal soap / rock soap / turd soap is a really important thing in this world. It's a really clever idea. I actually thought it was really, the bag it came in was super cute. I love where I got it from, and I'm not going to mention it now because we're ripping on the coal soap.
I think you should mention it.
No,
we're not ripping on it.
I love it. I love their products. I had all their other soaps I buy, but the coal soap was just, it started out as a great idea, and then it didn't. When I realized I was thinking of giving it to a child who I might cry, I decided that was not the intention of it. Modern Roots is the name of the place, and I love them.
Yeah.
They do handmade products, and they're awesome. But I don't even mean for this to be a plug. I also didn't mean for it to be a dig.
If you're looking to sponsor us, Modern Roots, get in touch. We'd be happy to take you on as a sponsor.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of intentions, because I just mentioned intentions, like what is our intention of this podcast? I have my ideas, but what are yours?
I just want to hang out with my mom. I don't know.
Oh, that's one of my biggest intentions too.
Listen, this is like, I don't know. I think of it as your podcast, like, because we sort of talked about that a little bit. Like, we don't know, like, depending on how this goes, like you wanted to have it be open where, like, if I didn't jive with it, you could take in other guests instead, and like maybe I'd be like a repeating guest or something.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel like obligated, and I don't want it to become a burden because we know what that word is in this world, in our world. And I just, I want it to be flexible. I don't ever want you to feel like you have to. And the other thing is like, I think us connecting in this way, which we do all the time in the real world, is great. But if it starts changing or shifting in any way because of this podcast, excuse me. I will put a quick nip in the bud on that because our relationship matters more than anything else in the rest of the world.
Yeah, I don't care.
Helping other people.
Yeah,
I mean, at the expense of our relationship, is not an okay.
Thousands of dollars we get from sponsorships every week. Like, it's just, our relationship is worth more than that.
It's priceless. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So what do you think about, what is your intention for the podcast?
Well, my first intention was just the idea of us hanging out more.
Also, wait, sorry.
No,
I don't mean to stop you.
What?
You mentioned it. We still haven't introduced ourselves and who we are. We should probably say our names so they can tell who we are.
I'm Michelle Albers. I'm the owner of JD, and my biggest passion is helping people, being a catalyst for others to heal themselves.
Oh no, you had that prepared.
Inspiring people. I didn't have it prepared, but that is, people ask for the elevator speech all the time. And if you're going to make me describe in a nutshell what I do, it is, I am a catalyst for others to heal themselves, because I don't believe that we can heal other people. I believe they have to choose it for themselves. And then just to inspire people to maybe just look at things a little differently and choose something for themselves.
That's cool.
Yeah. Who are you, son?
Gosh, well, I'm a young child. I'm Andrew Coonan. I am Michelle's son, in case that wasn't obvious. And I don't have a spiel because I'm young and don't have a solidified notion of myself or what my purpose is in life.
Ooh, that could be the whole podcast.
Figuring out my purpose in life?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's what I do. It's one of the things I do. Help people with.
Well,
I'm not always sure that having your mother be the one to help you with that is a great idea.
It's
so
true.
I'm half kidding.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to. I want to be a teacher. I like to help people find their own strengths and believe in themselves and find the joy in the world. And I like to hang out with my friends and play games and, like, I don't know. I like a lot of things, but I don't know what level of stuff I'm supposed to be sharing at this point. I feel like it's better if it comes out naturally, just in, like, our conversation.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. But I love what you said there. I love this. Like, I've never heard you describe yourself before.
Yeah, that's
or, like, what your passions are or what you care about. Even though I know, like, you have a big old heart and, like, helping people is, like, a really important piece of your world and always has been. Sometimes at the expense of yourself, maybe, in my opinion, which is how I also
we're
used
just
to
going
do
right
things.
into it, aren't we? Huh?
Which is also how I used to do things. No, I just, if it comes up, man, if you open a door, I'm walking right through it.
Okay.
And if you close the door, I will respect that as well. Full disclosure, safe space. Nothing is required. You can edit it out, but you only get one per episode.
Only one edit out per episode.
Well, it depends on how long the episode is. How about that? 1 per 10 minutes?
1 per 10 minutes? Okay. How many seconds can I edit out per 10 minutes? Like,
Oh,
can I edit out
do we have to define it that much?
No, we don't.
That's too many boxes for me.
No.
I don't like boxes at all. I don't
you don't
think
like
there are
boxes
any.
at all, then we shouldn't
Limit the
limit it to once
That's
per 10
fair.
minutes.
I knew you were going to pick that apart.
That's
Speaking
right.
of going there. That's funny. Okay, back to intentions.
So back
Is
to
that where we're
intentions
going?
of the podcast. Yeah.
Yes, connecting with you. The other intention is I hope that it helps somebody, even just one person. No, that is the very minimalist goal. If it helps millions, that's even better. Billions. Let's go for all the people.
Everyone.
Yeah, all the people.
I mean, for all time.
Yeah.
We'll inscribe
This is
this on
ancestral healing.
Yeah, we'll inscribe this on the golden record that we send out to space for the aliens to find after our civilization has long since collapsed. And the aliens will hear our wisdom and they will learn from it and know what it was like to be a human in 2023.
I was just going to go a whole deep place, but now I want to circle back to intentions.
Okay. I mean, we can go on tangents. In case you can't tell, this is not going to be the most focused of episodes of our podcast.
And to be honest, I doubt that many will be super focused because I like the flow of us being able to go off on tangents. So my intention...
Your intention. Go.
You know how they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions?
We'll say yes.
They say that. You don't know that? You've never heard that phrase? Maybe that's a phrase from my childhood.
I might have heard that before.
That might be a phrase from my childhood, but it's a phrase that I know. But
yes,
here's the thing, like
I understand what you're saying.
everything in like how I show up with other people and one of the things that we talk about a lot is setting an intention. And I'm saying, forget the good word. How about neutral? Or just let's forget a descriptor at all and just what if you walk your path with intention? So setting an intention it requires mindfulness. It requires awareness. It requires just the tiniest of pauses so that how you're taking your steps is chosen by you and done with intention. So my intention of this podcast, I guess, is just every time we show up, I would like to show up from that place of pause with an intention of healing and love and kindness and open-mindedness and safe space for all, which all of those things sound so like big and generic on some level, but like when I speak them, I feel them in my heart and they feel very genuine and connected and real. So, but not knowing who we are, I could see that as being like,
Well, yeah, no, but for one, I think like we don't need to feel the need to be contrarian and like have the like always be avoiding anything that's cliche. Like I think those are good things to shoot for regardless of who you are or where you're coming from. Like I don't think we have to not be ourselves for the purposes of being something unique.
Right. And that won't happen for me because I show up as myself.
Right.
So good luck trying to tuck me into something different. It's more for me, like when I say things like that too, it's like this kindness and that maybe doesn't fit this bill, but like making sure that we're coming from a place of kindness. And I know that sometimes when I speak or communicate, I can say things that are like misconstrued or because I like have an energy feeling behind them, and sometimes the words are inadequate and I don't realize that the words that I said aren't actually connected in the ethers with my energy. And so not everybody like reads it the right way or they take it off, and I can be pretty blunt and direct, and sometimes people are like, ugh, what was that? It's like, that was me, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. I feel like in some ways I'm the same way. I think everyone goes through like some level of that. At least like I think a lot of people can relate to the experience of saying something, meaning it in a certain way with a certain energy behind it, and then that just not being picked up on at all, and like feeling like what they're picking up is not what you're trying to put out.
Yeah.
And struggling with how do I rectify that and communicate the intention behind words.
Yeah.
Which is a really hard thing to do and also a really important thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah. Communication. So that brings me to more of my intentions, and that is like connection, inspiration, kindness. I think I already said that one, or a couple of those. But connecting and community is so important too, because I feel like so many times, at least in my life growing up, like particularly like my junior high ages, those were so hard for me. It was just such a hard time in my life, and I felt so alone, even though I had people in my life that like loved me and supported me. I, within my core, because I didn't like myself or know myself or believe in myself, like I felt very alone. So to be able to bring together a community of people who are drawn to those people, and that's it, right? Like, do you feel comfortable in this space? Do you feel comfortable with these humans? And if that answer is yes, then challenge yourself to lean in a little bit, because it's often fearful to step in a new community. I'm like the one that's in the corner in the back, all quiet, like the mouse in the corner, just observing, because I don't like to super drop in and engage. But then when within my own community or communities that I've come together with, I can just stand up and speak and not feel, because I feel safe.
Mm-hmm. That actually surprises me a little bit. Like,
what?
That you struggle to connect with new communities or like find it hard.
It's so hard. Why? That surprises you?
Yeah, well, I've never really, like, I can't think of a time when I've seen you going into a new community. Like, I've seen you
that's fair.
with your friends, with your people. I've seen you with like even like, I mean, when I was a lot younger, like at your work and whatnot, like every now and then I'd see you with those people, and like you always felt way more comfortable. Maybe this is part of the fact that just I'm your son and you're my mom, and moms always seem to like there's that effect of where the offspring thinks that the parent knows what they're doing 100% all the time.
I'll clue you in. None of us do.
And if
we say we do,
I figured it out.
If they say they do, they're either flat out lying or they haven't figured it out for themselves yet. You know, it's like, oh God, if you think you're doing it right, good luck. If you think you're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I haven't really seen that like side of your interactions with other people, which I guess like in a certain sense I always assume, because I have that too, like I am like, I don't know, I was gonna say probably worse than you are, but I don't know how that is for you.
It's not worse, good, bad, or indifferent.
Okay. I experience that effect more than you do, possibly, is what I was gonna say, but I don't know, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I always figured I got that from Dad. Because, like...
Double whammy.
Yeah. Like Dad is always, I am more aware of Dad's anxiety than I am of your anxiety. Like, growing up, I have been. Like, Dad's always been more, like, expressive about that, I think. Or maybe it's just come up in situations where it was with us before. Like my go-to example is like in a line at a supermarket or something like that. And you can tell Dad is like anxious in that position. He always like wants to get through it as fast as possible. He always goes to the self-checkout if he can't. I do too. But like, you know, that sort of thing, like you can tell he's and I don't know, like Dad, if you're listening, I don't know how your mind works. I don't know. I'm just showing, like, this is how I perceive your mind working. But it like, that's similar to how I feel when I'm in, or like how I perceive Dad acting is similar to how I perceive myself acting and feeling when I'm in an uncomfortable social situation. But I don't really see that with you very much. I
don't know that I would have labeled it that way back when. I had a lot of anger, and I think that masked it, and I just thought I was pissed off. You know, and now I'm realizing, I was just terrified maybe. And that's not true. There was also a lot of anger there. And we can unpack all this stuff throughout the podcast episodes. But that's interesting that you don't see that in me. But also, like, I mean, I really do think I masked a lot of it or didn't discover it because I was angry, and I feel like I was also depressed on at many points throughout. So, like, I just feel like the anger covered up the anxiety, or was maybe a piece of it. I don't know. Yeah. Interesting. I feel like this is a good place to stop. We're at 20 minutes, and then
That was 20 minutes?
That was 20 minutes.
Okay.
So let's full circle this one, and maybe on the next one we can hash out some ideas for actual names other than TBD.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Because
good
I don't
idea.
want it to be TBD.
No, TBD.
That seems
Unless we
not-
can think of a good acronym that TBD stands for.
Okay.
But we'll
That is
next
TBD.
Week,
And
TBD.
we will.
Tune back in next week
And for more, yeah.
for more. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Bye.